What is up, Arrow fans? John of Video Games and the World here, and we're back with another Arrow season. Only 3 more seasons left before we can finish this. Now, I said I was uploading these reviews weekly, but next week for the 10th anniversary of Arrow, Season 6 will be uploaded on Monday 10th, Season 7 on Tuesday 11th, and the final season on Wednesday 12th, as it's the 10th anniversary of Arrow. Now, I said that Season 4 made me stop watching the show altogether, but when I started watching Season 5 during the quarantine back in 2020, my love for the show has been reignited as we can see that it got better than the last time. We are introduced in this story to new heroes as well as new villains in every season. Sure, it gets kind of repetitive, but I still like this season more than the last one. Let us begin, shall we? Oliver and Felicity recruit a new team of vigilantes to aid their mission, including former police detective Dinah Drake as a new Black Canary. Oliver struggles to adjust to his breakup with Felicity alongside trying to balance his new role as mayor with the threat posed by the serial killer Prometheus. The season also sees the introduction of an antagonistic version of Laurel Lance, known as Black Siren, a doppelganger from Earth 2, who made her debut during the second season of The Flash. In the season's flashbacks, Oliver travels to Russia where he joins Bratva and is trained by Talia al Ghul before returning to Lian. This season was a major 180 for the show. This is something I should have watched years ago, and also I should have listened to my inner voice about not giving up on the show, and my older brother who liked the show as well. I was too hesitant to watch it after the disaster that was season 4, but honestly, this season was well written and well done. I actually like the character of Prometheus, who was the son of one of Oliver's targets in the list of names of his father's notebook. With each episode, Oliver questioned his choices, his father's list, being a vigilante, and the difficulty of being the mayor of Star City, and believing that he is no better than all the criminals that he has fought when he first started as an Arrow, because in the first season he did kill, but in the second season he decided to not kill anymore. And Adrian was always one step ahead of him. He played games with Oliver in order to break him and then at the right time, finish the job. We also get to meet a new team of vigilantes being trained by Oliver Queen himself. At first the training proves too much for them, but they get better. Now, this training, like reaching the bell, is shown in a flashback when Oliver was training to become Bratva and work with Anatoly. The new vigilantes happen to be Curtis Holt, Rene Ramirez, Wild Dog, Evelyn Sharp, and Dinah Drake. Dinah Drake replaces Laurel as a new Black Canary, and she's a metahuman affected by the particle accelerator explosion. The effects of the accelerator gave her the ability to scream. Sonic scream, of course. I like the character of Rene since not only he became a vigilante to make things right after losing his wife, but he is a father seeking to be reunited with his daughter Zoe. He is also a firm believer of gun rights as an inspector of the gun, which I will talk about in a few. I am sad that the Laurel we knew was gone, but I liked her successor Dinah. She is quite close to the Black Canary from the comics since her canary cry is a superpower and not made by technology, unlike Laurel's in this show. And I can say the same thing for Black Siren. I think Katie Cassidy does an amazing job being this ruthless, evil villain, resembling Laurel Lance. This season regarding the team of vigilantes where one is a traitor reminded me of the old saying, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. And I am not saying which one is a turncoat. I love the main antagonist of Prometheus. When you heard his theme song, you knew exactly the meaning of fear and how shit was about to go down. He was one step ahead of Oliver, and that made him extremely dangerous. Talia al Ghul also appears this season, and she is played by Canadian actress Lexa Doig, who is known for Jason X, piece of trash movie, Smallville, and Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. The crossover this season was titled Invasion. It was a crossover of 4 different shows: Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. I actually like the crossover, and Oliver's dream of being Laurel's fiancé was an illusion created by an alien race called the Dominators. Now, the dream Oliver has in this one caused by the Dominators reminds me of dreams and mental illusions created by DC supervillain Starro the Conqueror. Gotta say, the fight was phenomenal against the Dominators. Awesome. Now, one of my favorite episodes of this season is Specter of the Gun. This episode is where tensions were flaring between Curtis and Renee. How so? Because of their differences regarding firearms. Curtis believes in gun control because rifles of military caliber need to be taken off the streets, and also due to the fact that he, as a black man, is 3 times more likely to get killed by a gun. Renee believes that people have the right to bear arms as the Second Amendment of the Constitution says so, that the government can screw with them. Warning, this gets political. The argument between Curtis and Renee is a reflection of arguments and debates between gun control supporters and pro-gun rights people. People believe in gun control because it can reduce crime and, above all, mass shootings. Some people say, turning your guns in, let the government protect you. While gun rights people believe the Second Amendment so that when the government becomes oppressive, they are armed against tyranny. They say, these people can also say mass murderers agree that gun control works, and also that gun control is democide. They also speak out against gun-free zones because they are extremely dangerous. However, Oliver Queen as a mayor vows to make changes regarding firearms in that episode. He declares another Weapon Control Act that offsets firearm proprietorship rights with open well-being and says they simply should be fearless enough to sanction it. This season is where we see Oliver's son, William. We did see him in season 4 and was mentioned or briefly seen in previous ones. However, in this season we get to see a bit more of him, and he has quite a big role in the next season, and in 7 and 8 his role gets bigger and bigger. So finally, to wrap this up, I like the season. The twists, the turns. It felt like the show made a 180 after people didn't like seasons 3 and 4. It turns out that from 5 to 8, that's where the show got better, much better. Some moments were a bit meh. The crossover was good, and also good episodes and an explosive finale. My final score for season 4 of Arrow is an 8.5 out of 10. That's all for today. I am John of Video Games in the World. Have a good one. Later!